Hello, I know this is kind of a weird setup, but look, I can do this now. And you can see me actually work on my journal. Isn't that exciting? This is my new baby. Just cameras make me so excited. Also, I wanted to start with my hair down because I'm like, oh, I gotta look cute, but I think it's gotta go up. I'm gonna be honest. We're getting serious. Today's my reading journal / TBR video. It's gonna be a fun time. I have a stack of books here. My little TBR, very cute, very fun. I'm gonna just kind of move down the stack, talk about books I wanna read, while simultaneously working on my journal. So let's cut to that. I'm really hoping that that is in focus, but we'll see when I edit. You might just get to look at my face. These are the sticker sheets I'm gonna be using. You might be like, why are you using Pokemon? Again, listen, I like Pokemon. That's my only reason. Let's talk about books because quite frankly, I have diddle-dallied enough, not talking about books. So before I actually like get started on my journal, let's talk about the first book, The Wyverns Fear. Now, I was supposed to finish this book last week. Yep, that did not happen. I did not, in fact, do that. So that's on me for still putting off reading this book. Yes, I've been reading this since March. Yes, I said I would finish the book during a readathon I was doing with Katie. And did that happen? Clearly not. Let's just lower your expectations, frankly, because I don't know what it is about that book, but I can't bring myself to finish it. And it needs to happen because why has it been this long since I have been reading this book? But I love The Name of the Wind. It was so well done. I love the characters. I honestly think I loved it so much because it had Ranger's Apprentice vibes. It had good characters. It was set kind of back in Middle Ages from what I remember, because it's kind of been a while since I've read it, frankly. And I just loved the universe. I loved the magic system, and the writing was just spectacular. It was such a good adult fantasy book. And the second book I just have put off reading for far too long. And it's honestly embarrassing at this point how many times I've said that I'm going to finish The Name of the Wind, or I'm sorry, the second book, and I just don't. So I need to, it's gonna happen this month, mark my words. I know I said that last month, and the month before, and the months before. I mean it this time, for sure, for absolute certain. I just can't put this on another TBR. It can't happen. Do I know how to spell December? Okay. I'm really bad at multitasking, which makes me question this format, but I also have nothing sketched out, so that probably doesn't help either. I'm kind of realizing that I'm a little trapped in my setup area here, and I don't in fact have markers, and so I might have to go exit this area to do that. Okay. We're coming back. We're coming back. Markers have been grabbed now. Let's move on to talking about another book for this video isn't completely batshit wild. Next is A Shot in the Ember, which I'm almost done with. I'm on page 482 out of 600 something, 630. Very close to finishing this book because I am doing a buddy read with my friend Lexi for A Light in the Flame, which is the next book. So these two books are my TBR. One, I just need to read the last 100 or so pages, and then the other one, I will just need to be reading, and that is happening very soon, which I'm extremely excited about because I love visiting friends, and yeah, I'm driving 3.5 hours up to Oklahoma to visit. This is gonna look good. I didn't even think this through. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. And I'm just so excited to like buddy read, and she's a photographer, so she's gonna help me learn my little camera. And like I know the basic things about cameras because I've been doing not necessarily like professional photography, but recreational photography like my entire life. So I know a thing or two about cameras. Being given the little rundown I think will be quite exciting, because learning something from someone who knows it better than you is kind of cool, especially since they're a friend and they literally are a professional photographer. So I think that will be super duper fun. And to just sit and buddy read together will be so incredibly fun. I need a new word instead of fun. Thrilling, exciting, flat out jovial, frankly. I think I've brought her up many, many times, but I used to buddy read with her. We would go to cafes, we'd catch up, and then we would just read. And little coffee shops and such, and I miss that so much since she's moved. And so I'm just so excited to catch up with her and just read. I think it'll be so fun. I am so incredibly bad at multitasking. I cannot wait to film more of these videos and gradually get better, because I mean, that is how you get better at anything, is by practicing it. So if these first few videos in this sort of format are a little rough, they'll get better eventually. I just don't know when that eventual point is. I also might have to change like my filming location. Like, I do really love sitting out in my living room and just like casually journaling. I think that's super fun, but I'm just not about the aesthetic of this background. Like, what the fuck is this? Not my favorite, so I might journal on my desk instead. We will see. Beautiful. I finished my cover page. We're going for the simple vibes. Maybe I have some pizzazz I can add. Maybe I should have not spoken so soon. Is there pizzazz? Where's the pizzazz? Yeah, I'm clearly struggling a little bit today, but you know, the good news is I actually am not like rushing off to work today. I had my very first Zoom call with my Patreon exclusive book club, and that was the highlight of my day, frankly. It brought me so much joy to just sit and talk to two lovely, lovely people about books and all sorts of things. Frankly, we talked so much, and it was just so nice. It was so refreshing to see some people face to face that I've seen but not actually met. That was super cool. I honestly don't know what I'm doing. I'm just throwing things onto this journal and hoping it looks good. I'm not burnt out with my journal per se, but I'm definitely reaching the point where I'm ready for my new journals. I don't know if I discussed this, or maybe this is the first video you're seeing of me, in which case I am so sorry. But I'm combining my bullet journal and my reading journal and my life journal all into one. And the only separate journal I'm going to have is like a K-pop journal, which we'll see if I actually keep up with that. I don't know. It seemed like a fun idea, but also it seems like more on my plate to try to keep up with. We'll see. I just wanted these videos to be like super casual, laid back. I wanted to do a different format because I think the bullet journal format, for me at least, is getting a little stale. There's always like, here's my journal. Let me open my journal. Here's my theme. Here's my setup. Here's the flip through. Here's my voiceover. And it's just all the same. And I was just ready to switch things up. Try something new. And this is the format that has won. I'll work on it. We'll figure something out to make this format work, but y'all get to experience me learning what I want to do as I'm doing it. Let me draw some lines and then I will get back to speaking. Next, because I don't want to, put this off too long, I can multitask. I really can't. XOXO by Axio is one I'm like so incredibly excited to pick up. If you don't know me, hello. I kind of really love K-pop, and it was not a recent development. It's been over a year now since my very quick descent into the K-pop universe, and it got to the point where I'm literally on a K-pop cover group with some lovely, lovely people who literally I'm so easily startled. How did that get over there? What type of sorcery is happening? Lovely people, as I was saying. I don't know where I was going with this. Oh, I read K-pop Revolution, I think is the first, no, that's the second one. K-pop Controversy. I don't know. It was some K-pop book. It was like super cheesy, but like let me tell you, I ate that shit up. I loved that book so much, that duology. And I'm ready for another K-pop book because there's really not that many out on the market, I will be honest. But XOXO is kind of like more of a popular one compared to any other ones that I've heard of, which have not been many. So I have a really fun video kind of planned. It involves like Christmas gifts and such that I'm making. And I just got the weirdest sense of deja vu when talking about that. That's weird because I don't think I've discussed that before. But I know very little about the book other than I think that they meet and then they don't see each other and then she finds out that he's a K-pop idol and I think they have to keep like their romance hidden. I'm just so incredibly excited for a fun K-pop romance. I love them and I wish there was more. And I wish they weren't like seen as like cringy. I'm gonna go in with low expectations because I feel like that's always safest when it comes to books like these, but I am excited regardless. So that, I've been wanting to read it for a while. I put off buying it. I finally bought it and then I had a video idea and then it's gonna take time, so then I put it off, but it's definitely one that I wanna read before the end of the year. Oh, this is gradually getting worse, I feel like, in terms of my artistic abilities. Also, something that was on my TBR in December was Scythe, but I stayed up until 2 a.m. and read the whole thing yesterday, December 2nd. So I have completed one book off my TBR. I feel like I haven't set up a reading journal in so long. I'm like, how do my pages work? What am I supposed to be making here? Next on my list is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, because frankly, it is like entirely overdue. Why have I waited so long to read a book this hyped by an author who I've read a book by them before, Malibu Rising, and I adored that book. So like, why has it taken me so long to get around to actually reading this book? I'm hoping to rectify that particular issue in the upcoming month. It's literally already December. I'm just behind. It's fine. Also, I am messing this up so badly. Malibu Rising. Nope, that's not the book we're talking about. We're talking about The 7 Husbands. I've heard people who have waited forever to read it and it still exceeded their expectations. So I'm not expecting to be disappointed by it. I'm not sure if it'll be my style of book that I enjoy. But you know what? We are going to find out in December, hopefully. I really like piling like a bunch of books onto my TBR and then kind of seeing what mood I'm in for reading. So it's not guaranteed that I will read this book in December. Like I would love to, but I don't know. I'm a big mood reader and so my TBRs aren't very strict. But it's nice to have like an idea if I'm not super overwhelmed by all the books on my bookcase that I have yet to read. And so take all of these with a grain of salt. Last month, I think I did a decent with books that were on my TBR and what I actually ended up reading. So like that was kind of cool. But I never like define my reading by whether or not I like read all the books off my TBR because I think that's a little foolish. We're human, things happen. You might not read as much or, I don't know, stuff happens. I am trying to form thoughts, but also not misspell words. So if you set TBRs, don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be too strict, unless that's the type of reading you enjoy, in which case you do you. But, you know, BookTube I feel like puts a lot of pressure on like making TBRs and trying to complete TBRs and just like have fun with books that you want to read. If you buy a new book and you feel like reading that book, read that book. Like, nothing's really stopping you other than you convincing yourself that you can't read that new book because it wasn't on your TBR. I don't know, random side tangent, but I feel like you really get my raw, uncensored thoughts because multitasking is a difficult thing to do. These videos will get better, I swear. I mean, I actually did my laundry before sitting down to record this, so I feel like that's already progress from my last video. where I was like, I hope you can't hear my laundry. And then editing me was like, you definitely can hear my laundry. The next books that I want to read, hopefully, I have holds on the library from them, is Thunderhead and Toll by Neil Shusterman, but it is the second and third book in the Scythe trilogy. I read Scythe as the Chaos X Cass book club book pick for November, and that was a lot of fun. Like I said, I had a discussion for it, and I really enjoyed it, like surprisingly. I didn't go in thinking I wouldn't enjoy it, but it was also very different than what my typical reading tastes were. And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by how easily digestible that book is, and the different themes and aspects of it were very fascinating to read about. The plot went a little whack, so I'm excited to see kind of where it leads to. And Faith, one of my Patreon book club members, when we were discussing it, they had already read the second one, and yeah, they said it was good, so I'm hoping that it is in fact good. Next, I want to pick up Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare, because just like The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, that book is very long overdue on my TBR. But in my humble defense, I got to a point where I hadn't read it when it came out in 2020, even though I bought it immediately. And then when Chain of Iron came out, I also didn't pick it up. And then so much time had passed, I was like, I might as well just wait for the trilogy to be finished. And so the plan was to read all three of them in December, but then the release date for Chain of Thorns got pushed back. And so why would I read it when I can just wait to read it until the third book is out? So I'm gonna hopefully read Chain of Gold in whatever month this is, December, to kind of get the ball rolling. So by January, I can read Chain of Iron and Chain of Thorns when it comes out. Because I think it comes out end of January, so maybe I can pace myself and not get burnt out on Cassandra Clare books. It had been so long since I've recorded with a camera that has like a recording limit. And yeah, whoopsie, I forgot that was a thing. Let me briefly discuss the last book. Daughter of the Moon Goddess. I literally don't even know what this is about. Did I even read the blurb before I bought this? This is the Wyverns Words book club book pick for December. And the cover is stunning. I wanted to be cheap and buy the paperback, but it was so pretty, so I bought the hardback. Which, you know, I will regret the financial decisions later, but not today. Not today, we won't. I am very excited for that book. I think it'll be a book that will have more substance than A Far Wilder Magic, which was our last book club book pick, and that live stream did not in fact go well because it was not in fact that good of a book, and so there was not a lot of discourse that we could discuss about the book. So I'm excited for a book that looks like it will actually have things that Katie and I can discuss during our live show, which will be refreshing, frankly, because that last live show was not it. If you were there or rewatched it, I am so sorry. That's my TBR for the month. Maybe I should look up, but I'm mid-writing. Okay, that's my TBR for the month. I really hope you enjoyed. I'll show a flip through in half a sec. Over my face right now. Look at this flip through. Beautiful, stunning, wow. I still have like 1 or 2 pages to do like right now, but that is the power of editing. You already saw my whole journal. I really hope you enjoyed. I will work on the format of how the heck to do this. But thank y'all so much for watching. Thank you so much to my Patreons over on the Chaos X Cass book club. Y'all bring me so much joy. And thank you all for watching. Be sure to let me know your tiny little TBR down below in the comments. And I really, really hope to see you in the next one. Toodles!